Let's look at Genesis 3, verse 1. It reads, "Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, You shall not eat of every tree of the garden?" We live in a time now where it appears that we're living in the hath God said generation. We have so many doctrines out there, and each of these doctrines is all based on someone trying to get too deep. I know in the last days, the Word of God says that there'll be many with itching ears running about to see what doctrine is next. What's the next deep doctrine? I want to have my ears tickled because what we're hearing now has become boring and it's got to be something deeper than that. So let me go find something else because the Word of God now seems to be not enough for me. So enters the thief, disguised as a man of God, a shepherd who has something for you to hear. The Word of God is not deep enough, huh? Hath God said this or hath God said that? Well, I've got something for you. Let's try this. And there we go. Now, when they say hath God said, they're really saying, did God really say that? For example, hath God really said there's a place called hell? A loving God will cast his people into hell? Did he really say that? Let me show you. Hath God said there's only one way? Let me show you. Did God really say thou shalt have no other gods before him? That includes money. And we know that all Christians should be rich, don't we? Let me show you. Now we know that Satan only has 3 weapons when it comes to tempting mankind in his hath God said moments. He was very successful in the Garden of Eden with those temptations, that being the lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. But when it came to tempting Jesus after 40 days of fasting in the mountain, he was very unsuccessful. Jesus did what we should do when we're tempted. He quoted the Word of God. Now, after fasting for 40 days, the devil knew he was hungry, so he asked him to turn the stones into bread. Jesus quoted the Word, said, "Thou shalt not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God." If that wasn't enough, he wanted to take him over to the edge of the mountain. Well, he took him and he said, "Cast yourself off this mountain." And Satan himself used the word when he says, "For it is written, thou shalt not dash thy feet against a stone." In other words, the angels will take care of him if he jumped. Jesus quoted the word again, said, "You should not tempt the Lord thy God." Then he took him into a higher place and he showed him all the kingdoms, all the stuff in the world. And he said, "I'll give you all this if you just fall down and worship me." Now, imagine trying to give Jesus something that he created and he already owned. And Jesus said, "Get behind me, Satan." In other words, are you crazy? Get behind me. I own all this. I own the cattle on 1,000 hills. I own all of this. I own everything. I made everything. So how can you give me something that I already got? Sometimes I wonder, do we really believe the Word of God? Do we really believe the 66 books that was given to us and to trust in those 66 books without having to go find other books, other knowledge that we may not have, asking questions that really don't matter? I think that if you don't believe in the 66, then just throw the whole thing away and just go on your own if you don't want to believe it, because I think there's enough in that from Genesis to Revelation to keep me busy for a lifetime. No, I can't answer everything in the Bible. No. A lot of things I don't know. A lot of things I believe God didn't need for me to know. We ask questions like, where did Cain find his wife? What color was Jesus? Where did God come from? If God did this, and why? If God did that and why. If God is so good, why are there starving people in the world? Why not just read what's there? Because if you don't, here comes those thieves and those wolves that will tell you some deep revelation, and there you go. Got you questioning. Hath God said? Did he really say that? So you must be in the wrong faith. Because in my faith, it ain't that way. In our religion, it ain't that way. You're reading that Bible and it's not what it says it is. And my thing is this: if the Bible is not the word of God, why are so many people coming against it? Remember, Jesus said, "Get behind me, Satan." And I think Satan took it literally. Wherever Jesus goes, there's Satan right behind him. I'm just saying. That's just my 2 cents. Be blessed.